Okay, let's dive into this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to completely optimize your digital storefronts and fundamentally master the mechanics of a successful transaction, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a real magnifying glass to a beautifully concise but powerfully effective piece of source material. We're looking at the conversion blueprint, streamlining the user journey. This material strips away all the noise and lays out the absolute foundational strategies you need to boost your conversion numbers. So we're going to unpack exactly what that means for your platform. What is standing in the way of your conversions? It's a pretty painful question to ask, isn't it? Because we all know that feeling. You invest an immense amount of time, energy, and resources into getting people to just visit your platform. They browse, they click around, they show real intent, and then, poof, suddenly they're gone. Just lost sales. It's incredibly frustrating. But the reality highlighted here is that often the real culprit isn't a flaw in your actual product. It isn't necessarily your pricing model either. The roadblock is the inherent friction of a cluttered digital journey. Without even realizing it, you might be placing hurdles directly in front of your customers when all they want to do is just cross the finish line. Section 1. The Conversion Blueprint. Now, what's really interesting about this is that to execute this blueprint and actually increase your success rate, analyzing your user journey is the very first required step before you change a single thing. We define the user journey as the complete end-to-end path your customer takes across your platform, ultimately culminating in that final checkout. Think of this journey like a physical walkway. Every single click, every scroll, every new page that loads, well, that's just another footstep on this path. If we want to optimize the final destination, the conversion, we absolutely must understand every single step it takes to get there. I mean, you can't fix a path if you don't know where it leads or where the bumps are, right? And here is the overarching thesis of our source material, laid out as plainly as possible. Did you know that nearly 70% of online shopping carts are abandoned? 70%. The key strategy to combat this? Simplify. The text makes it absolutely clear that aggressive simplification is the master key to boosting those conversions. Now, this isn't merely some minimalist design trend or an aesthetic preference. No, it's a vital, structurally sound business strategy. When you're looking at your platform, your default mindset really shouldn't be, what else can I add to convince them to buy? Instead, the absolute most powerful question you can ask yourself is, what can I possibly take away to make this action easier for them? Section 2, Simplifying the Journey. The text gives us a very specific, actionable sequence here. Step 1, simplify the user journey. Step 2, shorten forms and checkout steps. Step 3, remove unnecessary fields or distractions. Just think about the profound impact of those 3 steps for a second. They represent a complete, systematic teardown of anything that doesn't directly serve the ultimate purpose of getting the user to the finish line. It requires you to look at your forms and your checkout pages with a ruthless, highly critical eye. This brings us to a really crucial concept. Eliminate the friction to create the flow. I want you to visualize this with me. Think about a stream of water flowing smoothly down a riverbed. That is your ideal user journey. Now imagine throwing large rocks and branches right into that water. It creates turbulence, right? The water slows down, it catches, it pools. That is friction. In your digital storefront, every extra click required, every single confusing menu option, and every tiny visual distraction is essentially a rock in the river. It totally disrupts your user's momentum. You want to engineer a smooth, unobstructed current that carries your customer directly and effortlessly straight to the checkout. Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. Erasing the friction. It becomes glaringly obvious when we compare them directly. A cluttered checkout is totally bogged down with unnecessary fields, visual distractions, and elements that just pull the user's eye completely away from the buy button. Versus a streamlined checkout, shortened forms, and absolutely zero excess. Nothing but the essentials. The core takeaway here is the sheer power of visual subtraction. Making the conscious decision to delete a checkout step or remove a non-essential form field isn't just a minor tweak, no way. It is a massive victory for your conversion rate. By clearing out the clutter, you create this laser focus on the final transaction. So the crucial point is this definitive checklist for cutting friction, pulled straight from the blueprint. Shorten forms. Cut checkout steps entirely if they aren't strictly needed. Remove unnecessary fields and eliminate all distractions. Listen, if a data field isn't absolutely critical to processing the transaction or delivering the product to the customer, it has to go. It really is that simple. You must prioritize the user's ease of completion way above your desire to collect extra data points. It all boils down to this one fundamental truth. When it comes to digital conversions, less is always more. A frictionless, simplified experience is not just a nice little bonus for your users. The source material dictates that it is literally the ultimate remedy for lost conversions. By proactively stripping away the non-essentials, you are demonstrating a profound respect for your users' time and their attention span. And let me tell you, when you respect their time by making the whole process effortless, they are far, far more likely to reward you by actually completing the journey. Which brings us to our final provocative challenge for today's explainer. Ask yourself, which unnecessary field will you remove today? Seriously, don't put this off until your next massive site-wide redesign. Take action on this blueprint right now. Open up your own checkout flow. Find that one form field or that one extra click that is causing turbulence in your river, and just delete it. Apply this streamlined strategy to your own platform today and watch what happens to your flow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep simplifying, and I will catch you next time.